Even though at the end of the day, Hell's Kitchen is an individual competition, for basically the entire season, the chefs are forced to compete as teams in challenges and dinner services to win amazing rewards, avoid elimination, and most importantly, get those customers fed. And due to the nature of being a team, and the fact that you spend your entire day with your fellow chefs in the dorms, friendships and bonds are bound to happen. But as I said, only one person can win Hell's Kitchen in the end, and sometimes we see these once good friends turn on each other for their own personal cause. What's going on, guys? I'm FlynnMasters, and today, we'll be looking at 5 of the biggest betrayals in Hell's Kitchen history. Now remember, these are betrayals, not sabotages. So while someone like Gabriel definitely did screw over Ralph, putting him up for elimination despite the team agreeing that the nom should be Gabe and Scott, Gabriel was never actually shown to be friends with Ralph, nor did he make a deal with him. Hence, it's not a true betrayal, at least compared to the other instances in this video. Before we begin, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy fun, long, and short form HK content like this. And with all that said, let's take a look back at some of Hell's Kitchen's biggest backstabbers.
Bloody hell, here I go again.
One of Hell's Kitchen's biggest betrayals came in literally the 5th episode of the franchise. As we all know, the first season of Hell's Kitchen was far different than what we know of it as today, as there was a standard set of rules, and a majority of the contestants weren't even pro chefs, hence there was definitely more of a drama type feel to it. Big Brother or Survivor-esque, you could say. And the winner of season 1, Michael Ray, would take full advantage of this. The man rallied everyone against the underdog Elise at the final 4, and sabotaged his fellow finalist Ralph at the pass, which would end up becoming a staple in future Hell's Kitchen seasons. But the betrayal we'll be talking about came at the expense of Chris. Michael and Chris were 2 of the strongest chefs that season, as they were seen as leaders for the red and blue team respectively in the first 2 episodes, which makes sense as both of them were part of the handful of contestants that actually made their living as a chef, with Michael being a sous chef and Chris being an executive chef.
Executive chef.
Executive chef.
Executive chef.
So when Michael was switched to the red team, he immediately identified Chris as his biggest competition, so he friended Chris, only to completely backstab him at the final 7. Remember, in season 1, Ramsey played by the rules and respected the nominations, so while Jimmy had the worst service that night, and was in general the weak link of the red team, Michael spared him in hopes he could take out the massive target in Chris, especially since Elsie, his other nomination, had shown such good growth in the competition. And this worked to perfection as Ramsey eliminated Chris over Elsie, and thus, Michael essentially had single-handedly taken out his biggest competition. A true genius move, as cold-blooded as it was.
You feel coming out the paper? I mean, if it was me, I'd have to go Jimmy Elsie. You know, like, bottom line, Jimmy was crap on the floor.
With Elsie, she's like breaking down out there.
I mean, I was trying to bang out her lasagna, you know?
All right, let's go do this, man. I don't know what to do.
This isn't a hard decision. I want to win, and, you know, they're your friends, but not really. The more people that go, and I'm still around, it's the better for me.
My second nominee is Chris. He said he was the strongest link on our team.
Who's your strongest link?
I believe I'm the strongest chef.
If he really is, he'll be with us tomorrow to kick ass.
I was an executive chef. I worked real hard to get it. I am not ashamed of it. So, Michael took the easy way out.
Chris was definitely my biggest competitor on that team. This is a competition, and there's one winner.
We have an extremely satisfying betrayal to talk about now, as it comes at the premiere of Season 3. Again, as I said, Season 1 was an anomaly of the series, as by Season 3, pretty much all the contestants were making their living as a pro chef, so much and so in fact, that Julia, who worked at the Waffle House, was seen as a weak link simply due to her occupation, when she literally would have had more experience than half the cast of Season 1. After the red team lost the opening night dinner service, Melissa was named the best of the worst, and would choose the 2 nominees for elimination. Despite having a good signature dish, and a pretty decent service minus 1 panic attack, Julia's name was thrown around, with Tiffany being the most vocal about it.
When Julia came up and said, started bawling and saying, oh, they won't let me fry an egg, it's like, don't pull out the whole team because you want your 2 minutes in the spotlight.
If I was you, I would nominate Julia tonight.
Definitely.
It has to be Julie. She works at the Waffle House. I mean, come on.
And unfortunately, it seemed as if this campaign worked, as Melissa told Tiffany she was safe, and thus, Julia looked to possibly be the first boot simply due to her lack of experience. But then, Melissa shocked everyone.
My second nominee is Tiffany.
I don't want to go home.
You're not going home.
No.
No way.
Not only did Melissa completely blindside Tiffany here, but Tiffany would also be the one to go home, despite her appearing to be a possible good villain for ratings. Melissa, I know you're a meme at this point due to your interesting appearance, to say the very least, in future episodes, but thank you so much for not just saving Julia, but betraying Tiffany in the most satisfying of ways. At number 3 is Fran's betrayal of Nelka in Season 7. After failing to win one service during the first 4 episodes of the season, Ramsey sent Scott over to the woman to help turn their losing skid around. However, he wouldn't be much better, as he and pretty much all the Red Team members had a disastrous service the following episode, resulting in the entire team getting kicked out. The only true person on the Red Team to have a good service was Fran of all people, and was given the task to choose 2 nominees, and it looked like she would have a pretty easy decision, as Maria and Scott had the worst nights out of the group. But Scott was somehow able to convince Fran that Ramsey would eliminate both of them, and thus, she needed to put up a pawn next to Maria to ensure that they would only lose one member. Not only did Fran somehow buy the story, but she didn't even tell her good friend Nelka that she was going to be the pawn, leading to a very shocking elimination ceremony.
If you put anybody else up against Maria, they'll be safe. You put me up with her, chances are we're both going home and then we're down to 4.
Okay.
That's okay.
Second nominee and why?
My second nominee is Nelka.
It would have been nice for y'all to let me know that, though. Don't just bring me up here and surprise me.
No Scott.
No, I felt Scott is a very strong team player in the kitchen.
Nelka,
Yes, Chef.
you had a bad service, but not as bad as these 2 back in line.
Absolutely, Chef.
And stand close to Fran.
Man, you gotta love the Season 7 Red Team, where even something as simple as nominating 2 clear nominees is proven to be difficult.
Y'all can kiss my ass, every last one of y'all, because I was up. Y'all could have told me I was going up on the chopping block. I'll do what I gotta do in the kitchen, but y'all. And I mean it from the bottom of my ass. Fran, don't come near me, not now. Don't come near me. Like, don't come near me. I don't want to hear it. I never voted your ass up on that. No.
I may be cheating a bit here for number 2, as it's tough to really call this a betrayal, but given the butterfly effect it had, I feel like I have to include it. Garrett and Keith was the first true genuine friendship to happen on the show, as they were the clear-cut best leaders and cooks on the men's team in Season 2, and in general, just bonded really well with each other. The 2 of them were the only males to make it to the Black Jackets that season, hence you would expect them to work together, especially in this era of the show, where Ramsey was still respecting the original nominees. However, when Keith won the Final 5 reward challenge, he shocked everyone when he was given the chance to choose one person to join him.
You can take someone with you.
I would pick you if I won, just because we got screwed the most, man. I'm gonna pick Virginia because hers was the second best.
That was probably the weakest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Keith, he's a liar.
This, I'm gonna do this now.
Oh, my God. Better not be knives back at the dorm.
He's dead to me. Nice pick, friendship.
Yo, listen, dude.
No, listen, nothing.
I feel
listen,
bad.
nothing.
Whatever, man.
Dude just sat there and gave me your word. You're a liar. I mean, seriously, put yourself
Dude,
in
I'm
my
sorry,
shoes.
man. What do
If
you want
I
me
had
to
said
do?
that to you and I did something like that, how the would you react?
I would be pissed.
What would you say?
I would disown you.
Then at the Black Jacket dinner service, Keith was once again the standout, winning the best of the worst, and would thus be choosing the 2 nominees. After screwing over Garrett earlier, and in general, likely not wanting to risk sending him home, you would think Keith would have gone out of his way to save his friend, and put Sarah and Virginia up for elimination, as Garrett was very adamant about this.
If you send me up there, I swear to God, all I can do is hope for a little more time so that I can progress some more.
Come on, buddy, you're in.
If Keith nominates me after what happened yesterday, I'll be shocked.
My second nominee is Garrett.
I thought he was your mate.
Yeah, he is. And it doesn't matter who my friends are.
Now, in defense of Keith, he was simply doing what he thought was best, as he chose Virginia to join him on reward for having the second best dish, and he flat out believed his boy Garrett deserved to be up for elimination. But still, had Keith saved Garrett, not only does Virginia likely go home over Sarah, but even if she were to stay, maybe Garrett could have been the one to beat Virginia at the Final 4 media challenge, and thus, Virginia would have gone home that round, which means Keith would have likely made it to the Final 2. No matter what you think of Keith and Garrett's arc this episode, I think it's pretty fitting that the first true friendship in Hell's Kitchen ended in saltiness.
I nominated Garrett. He's my boy, I feel bad. Now I'm the only dude left. Just K-Grease and the bitches.
But without question, the biggest betrayal in Hell's Kitchen history is Paul and Will's betrayal on Jennifer at the final 5 of season 9. I've mentioned this moment numerous times on my channel, but it obviously bears repeating due to just how much of a backstab it was. At the final 5 of season 9, sweet old Jennifer poured her heart and soul into Paul, admitting her feelings towards him as she thought she was going home.
I think you are adorable. I've had a huge crush on you since like day one.
Oh, you're so cute. I love you too, Jen. Come in love.
However, Ramsey spared Jennifer and Elise on a surprise non-elimination night, and thus, Jennifer was still in the competition with Paul, who now knew the truth.
Jen wants to kiss.
Jen and Paulie sitting in the tree. Look at you blushing.
I didn't want to go home with him not knowing, and now he knows, and I'm still here. That's all I'm gonna say. Please, Paul, do not tease me.
But while the first black jacket service was great, the second one was anything but, and that was mostly due to Elise, making a total of at least 17 service mistakes, getting herself, Jennifer, and Tommy kicked out. So it looked like Elise was all but done for, right? Well, in a last ditch, and for that matter, pretty pathetic attempt to save herself, she put on her puppy eyes to the big dogs of Will and Paul.
I promise if you will defend me to the end, I will have your back.
Oh, Will, you're better than me. Oh, Paul, you're so much better than me.
I'm a better person than Jennifer is, and I communicate better than Jennifer, and I'm a better cook than Jennifer.
I need your word.
After all the she's put us through, Will and Paul are smart enough not to fall for Elise's.
Elise, I respect your effort, but come on, do you really think Will, and especially Paul, are gonna fall for this BS and actually claim that Jennifer's weaker than you, especially after the dinner service you had?
Pure cooking. I think Elise is a stronger cook than Jennifer is.
Are you serious? You are kidding me.
I'm not saying you can't cook.
Who's the worst cook? Jennifer, chef.
Thank you. Kidding me.
I'm being honest.
You know what? You better hope I go home.
The person leaving Hell's Kitchen, Jennifer. Darling, come here.
Poor Jennifer, this was probably one of the only times in her life she admitted her feelings for someone, and it just so happened to be in front of millions of people, only for those millions to see her get absolutely betrayed. Talk about ruthless.
Keep your head up, Jennifer.
You.
I guess you don't like me anymore.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video of the biggest betrayals in Hell's Kitchen history. If you enjoyed it and want to see more content like this, then please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as I don't want to be betrayed by my awesome viewers. With all that said, take care everyone, and I'll see you next time.
Get out of there.